Are we live? Can you guys hear us?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, we're live. All right, great. Who do we have in the chat today? Let's see. Who do we have in the chat? We got Martin. Martin's a regular. I see you a lot. Bitract, what's up? How we doing? Hey, Anil, how are you? Gamma, Army IDs. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Hey, guys. Thanks for joining, guys. Good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you all. Welcome to our final Akashian Challenge live stream. I'm Michael. I'm the Global Marketing Manager at Akash Network. And we have Greg, our CEO, and Adam, our CTO. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Greg, CEO founder. Very excited for our final live stream for the challenge as well as for the year.
Hey, Adam, CTO founder. Also a person that's been digging into all of the data you guys gave us in these last test sets. So really happy to be here and speak with you guys.
This is my son, aka Christmas Tree, just introducing him as well. So I'm going to push him over to the side for a second. As usual, during the stream, we're just basically sharing some updates and insights, answering your questions, which is honestly our favorite part. The last two Q&A portions were really awesome and lively, and we actually surfaced quite a few questions that we hadn't been asked before. So we really appreciate that from you guys. You will have an opportunity to submit your questions, your burning questions throughout the AMA, throughout the live stream. There's an Ask a Question bar right here at the bottom of the live stream. So go ahead and type a question that you have, and feel free, you can ask any question you'd like all the way through the end of the live stream. At the end of the live stream, we'll be selecting 4 participants from the last live stream to earn some special prizes. 1 lucky winner is getting a Ledger Nano X, and 3 are going to get some Akash merch. So if you stayed last time, you're going to have an opportunity to win this time. So really excited for the live stream, and happy holidays, guys. So let's get into it.
Let's do it. So we'll start off with a quick recap of our Akashian Phase 3. I mean, the goal of the Phase 3 was to really, test the platform functionality as we are preparing to launch our mainnet 2, introduce the platform to users, get the critical feedback we need, and distribute the tokens to our users, potential users or users of our platform. And we had a stretch goal of building a strong catalog of different applications folks can deploy on Akash, giving you examples on various configuration files, as well as how we can deploy these workloads. So we're really to having reached almost all these goals at levels way much higher than what we originally intended to. We want to recap. We were able to give out essentially a set of guided challenges, really show what you can do and teach folks the way to do it, in which we had very simple web applications to complex nodes. And giving you a little, a good range of various applications you can deploy on Akash. Incredible success. We saw about 142 registered validators, about 800 or so application deploys, about 250 unique deployers, and close to about 200 web apps and about 120 or so blockchain nodes deployed on our. It was phenomenal success. In week 2, we broke all our records. Week 2 expanded the use cases a little more. It went from guided to unguided challenges, really opening up the worlds and opening up different use cases to our community. We had incredible success, about 3,600 app deploys, about 149 validators, and about 460 or so unique developers. To put this number into context, Polkadot, which is a very popular project, has about 430 monthly active developers as the latest stats that I saw. So that in itself tells you, it really validates a few things. Number one, the abstraction level, the abstraction for configuration file where we intended it to be not too complex that it becomes prohibitive, but not too simple that you can't really do much. So we had, putting the right level of abstraction file in HTL really was a great validation point, especially considering the kinds of applications that we deploy, all the way from DeFi front ends like Uniswap to Serum, to Thorchains, to balancers, to Bancors, and all these incredible DeFi front ends, all the way to block explorers, to games, to blogging applications. My personal favorite being Ghost, where you have essentially an anonymous blogging platform that's hosted on a permissionless in a non-custodial cloud like Akash. So incredible breadth of applications deployed, all by community. A little over 50 applications, if I remember correctly, on the awesome Akash repo, which is our catalog. Please go check it out. It'd be great if somebody can post a link in the chat. Please give us a star. Let's make sure people know what kinds of applications you can deploy on Akash, and please submit more applications there as well. And we learned quite a bit. And the goal of the testnet was to really understand, how users are using the application and get validation to some of our assumptions that could be, accurate or could be wrong. And we learned quite a bit. And Adam, if you want to dive in a little more as to what we learned from our users, would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what's really great about having O on the system during these testnets is that it replicates a real world situation, and that's really hard to do when we're doing testing. So it did expose a number of things, both from just pushing the system in ways that we had it before, and also from getting your feedback about some difficulties with using it. When we're kind of in the weeds of it every day, it's difficult to notice some of these things and try all the different variations that you all tried. So there were, I think, one of the issues that we saw was that when things don't quite work right, the user isn't getting as much information back as they need in order to kind of figure out what's going on. And so it kind of seemed like, hey, things aren't working. So the teams this week has been, and so first of all, of course, we need to fix that, and we absolutely have ways to do that. There are different streams of data we should be sending back to the user. But, to dig into what was going wrong, the team's been actually doing that this week pretty thoroughly, and we uncovered a couple root causes of things that happened. One of them was, application would just die sometimes, and it wasn't really clear why. And we realized that it's simply that the application's running past the amount of memory that was allocated for it or that was requested. For this testnet, we put some limits on the resources that were requested because we didn't want things to get too out of control. And I think that worked well in some ways, and it ended up causing problems in others because people couldn't, for instance, request as much memory as they wanted. So that was one class of errors that we saw that, people would launch Java applications or what have you, and it would run out of memory and get killed, and the deploy wouldn't work. Another area is the SDL. There's a couple fields that aren't super clear how to use, and if you use them wrong, then your application won't start. There's this thing called command and arguments that is a bit non-intuitive, and if those are wrong, then your command won't start. So there's and a couple other little things that we just need to add validation for. The service names need to be a certain format and things like that. So that was that. That was like, why isn't my application starting? Another one is our inventory management. Is simply you guys pushed the system in a way we hadn't before, and it exposed that how we were calculating inventory or available inventory. There's two things to look at. There's how much has been allocated and how much is available. because sometimes many times people allocate more than they actually use. And so one piece of the system was looking at how much is available. And so that is actually more than how much has been requested. And when we schedule a job, we say we only schedule it if there's enough room. So let me split it into two things. The part that bids, because we don't bid unless there's room for it, but the part that bids was looking at what's available. The part that schedules looks at what hasn't been reserved. And so those two things are a bit out of sync. And so one thing that would happen is that it would bid on, and a lease would get generated, and it would sit there, people would send their manifest, and it would sit there waiting for there to be space. There was space available, it's just that it was reserved by other jobs. So it was just an issue with our inventory management that we're basically fixed now. It's a pretty simple thing to fix. So those were really the big areas, the big issues that we saw. But I think for the most part, people had pretty good experience with it. And, taking those things out, I think that, all in all, the system was working quite well. Some takeaways from it as well is I was personally really excited to see that in the second week, we got state sync working. It's not even, it's just part of the Tendermint protocol. But it's really nice to see it work on our system, because that's a really key kind of use case we were looking at, where people want to deploy applications that have their own node that they can query. So this really opens up the ability to I have an Explorer that I want to launch. I could put in my SDL file, I can have a service for the node and also for my web service. And with state sync, that node will catch up quite quickly, and it's actually usable. And so everybody tested it and used that in the second week. We all spun up nodes that joined a network. We even created validators that joined a network. And so it's really exciting to see that piece work. And also, I think that in general, it's really helped us think about where we're what it is we're working on. Frankly, it was really solidifying moment for us, the team here. We're working on a platform that for you guys, for the community, and we want the community to be involved in working on it as well. We see it as an open source platform, and seeing the things that people were asking for really gives insight into what direction we might be going with it. And we want to unlock all these use cases that people had talked about. And so it's just really exciting. It was just a really exciting time for us. So thank you again for participating.
Awesome. And also, we uncovered quite a bit workflow issues in terms of deployments that are a little more cumbersome than they could be. And also, when we did this migration, we wanted to keep it as open and as basic as possible, so we can design the experience based on our feedback. So a lot of amazing user experience improvements that I foresee will come, as a platform matures. So I'm really excited about this approach and how we, ship quickly, be pragmatic about it, take the feedback, and iterate and push updates and do so and rinse and repeat. Because the best way to develop software is to do it with the users versus sitting in an isolated environment and thinking of what you think is right and not having that early validation. So thank you so much. It really means quite a bit for us. And also, I think quality of software really comes out when this iteration is strong. And moving forward, this will be our pattern that we'll solidify on. Awesome. And I believe we have a live demo. Adam is going to show a demo.
All righty. So, I clicked the wrong thing here. Share screen. Show the whole thing. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. First of all, I just want to show you the awesome Akash repo. I posted a link in the chat. Go in there and check out, browse the list of things. It's pretty comprehensive. It's pretty exciting. I am going to, I know Greg did a deployment to testnet last week. I'm going to do another one. I'll just show you a couple of little forkos that we have on the way. So there is a command that I think we didn't really expose to people, or I think we tried it last week, but it was too late. So there's a command called Akash Events. It'll show you all the events that's happening on the market. Let's see, sorry. So there's another thing, like, yes, the instructions in the testnet used like quite low. I mean, I think everybody agrees there's pretty low level commands. The idea is that like we wanted to just get the raw baseline and understand and work up from there. And that's just kind of our general approach with everything. But I wanted to show you, like, even with like those low level commands, it's quite, you can build up things that make your life easier. So here I have like a demo.sh thing that sets up in my environment, and it makes it a lot easier to do deployments, as you'll see. So I'm going to do, I'm going to create a deployment. I have to be able to see my screen though. Hold on a second.
Do you want to hide the thing on the bottom that says hide?
Yeah. It doesn't hide though. It's a problem with Linux. So one of the ones that I really liked from Awesome Akash was the Big Dipper one. So I'm gonna do that one real quick. So what's cool about this guy is that it has a database, and then it also has a web service, and it connects to a network, and it's a block explorer for a network. So it has both things. So I'm gonna create this. I'm gonna hopefully create this deployment real quick. Oh no. Hold on 1 second. Oh, I'm sorry. I was typing the wrong thing. So I should have had this more scripted up, but here we go. And it did it. And you can see on the left, the Akash events, an order was created, a bid was created, a couple of bids have been created here. And then eventually, a lease will also be generated. Just gonna do this so I can see. So here we go. We got a lease. It's for this provider. I'm just going to set an environment variable with it. And then I could do provider. Oh, yeah. So next I want to send my manifest. So I'm just going to
the DSEC.
Oh yeah. I need to Awesome Akash, and it's Big Dipper, and it's deploy.yaml. So I have to do that, and then I can see my lease status, which I know many people are familiar with. So it says already one is available. So what I'm going to do is go to that site, and you'll see it won't quite be ready yet. Okay, so there's not much here yet because this thing doesn't have a database populated yet. So real quick, well, we're going to wait for that to populate and spin up and see some blocks. And in the meantime, I'm going to show you guys just one other thing. I think that's really important for people that are developing on the system. we have development environments that make all these things quite easy to use. And if you're thinking about deploying onto Akash when we have mainnet, the best thing to do would first be to deploy into these testnets. So, for instance, you just say make a init, it initializes a chain. You could say make node run. Hold on a second. Make node run, it'll start running. You can say make provider, and it'll make a provider create. It'll create the provider. And you can see here, and then run. You can say make provider run. It'll run the provider, and then you can say make deploy. Comment create. Yep. Make send manifest. Oh no. Oh, I don't have a lease yet. Okay, now I should have one. Okay, and then make provider service status. Provider's lease status, and you can see here. So I just want to show you it's on my local host, and this is the application I just deployed for the dev environment. It was a little choppy. It's hard to do when people are watching, but I also want to show you the thing that we deployed off onto testnet is now up and running. You can see that blocks are being generated. Aren't many transactions, but you can see the validators. So this is the one that's on testnet, and then this is the guy that's on my local dev environment. And we'll just close the dev environment guy, and you'll see it'll stop working soon. Eventually it'll stop working. I don't know. Yep. Okay, that stopped working. We'll go over to this guy, and we will close it. And you'll see the events here. Now you see this how lease closed here, and here. So your application is down. So that's just a quick run through of a couple different ways to deploy apps. I just wanted to show you guys an alternative method. And that's it. That's all I wanted to show you.
Great.
I will try to stop sharing my screen.
Awesome.
I don't know. I'll stop sharing. Here we go.
Awesome. And next up, we have a few company updates, and we have Michael back.
I'm back, and I'm back with my son. We're festive. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Adam's very festive. Greg's got a comfy sweater, and I've got my tree sun. So let's share some company updates with you guys. It's been a really exciting week since last Friday. I feel like we keep saying it's been exciting, but it really has been for us, and we've been closing the year off pretty strong. Some exciting news. Akash was among the global top crypto trending searches this week on CoinGecko. On the 16th, we had a huge surge of interest where we ranked second in trending searches and third in most visited, which is a first for us. And it just means that we're reaching more and more people globally, and that's really exciting for us. We also set a new record for AKT staked. We have now 88.5% of all AKT existing currently staked, meaning basically nearly 90% of all AKT is staked, which is crazy. We also hit a new all-time high for AKT. We hit 96 cents, which is exciting for us as well. Hope all of you guys are staking that AKT and earning your rewards. And just in general, I think you guys should be checking into the Unstoppable blog. Maybe Ryan, you could link in the comments. It's just a great place to stay up to date with everything that we're doing. Again, we have partnership announcements. We have technology announcements, all types of announcements, advisor profiles, validator profiles. There's all kinds of really great content that we're putting out there weekly. And so you guys, please go ahead and take a look at all the blogs that we have released already and the blogs that we'll be releasing in the future. So now I wanted to take the opportunity to give some shout outs. Akash is not really anything without the community. And without you guys, it's a great product, but it doesn't really mean much without you guys supporting us. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to shout some people out. So we got LEO Trades. We had a huge YouTube video released. I believe it was on the 16th. I can't remember for sure, but LEO Trades has a huge YouTube following of about 100,000 people or more. And he put together an amazing video that kind of just talks about why he thinks Akash is going to be transformative for the cloud. And I think, please link in there, Ryan. Please link in the chat. I think it's a really amazing opportunity for some of you guys to kind of see what the value proposition is that Akash brings to people who are currently using the cloud. Also, thank you to Elon Trades. You've been an Akash evangelist for some time now, and we really thank you for sharing our project with everybody in your trading group and also on your Twitter. And so maybe we could link to Elon Trades as well. And no, they are not the same person. LEO Trades and Elon Trades are two separate people. You should go check them out.
I get confused about that all the time.
They are two completely different people, and we appreciate them both equally. Thank you to both of you guys. Also, we had a fun podcast with Ken of CipherCore. Ken has been a huge supporter of Akash ever since I started working at Akash in October 2019. Ken and CipherCore have been some of our biggest supporters, sharing our information, retweeting us, and constantly putting us in their Cosmos update. I want to say it's a weekly or bi-monthly update, but maybe you can link to that as well, Ryan. It's a really great roundup of everything exciting happening in the Cosmos ecosystem. And for those of you who are interested in all the other projects in the Cosmos ecosystem, I think it's a really great roundup. And so we did a podcast with Ken's new podcast. And Ryan, if you could link to that as well. Thank you, Ken, again. Thank you, CipherCore, for your support. And take a look at the podcast. It's really great. It's about 38 minutes, so it's actually kind of a short listen, but there's a lot of great stuff in there with Greg and Ken going back and forth. Again, in terms of shout-outs, thank you to all of our delegators and thank you to everybody for helping us reach 88.5% staked. That is a huge accomplishment. You're doing a lot of things there aside from earning amazing words. You're also helping us secure the network. So on behalf of me, my tree, and the whole company, thank you for doing that. Thank you so much. Also, shout out, I don't know if you guys have probably seen her in our channels, and if you're familiar with our team, you probably have read about her, but I wanted to shout out our all-star Chief Growth Officer, Molly Lee. She was recognized this last week as a product and marketing leader by Salient MG for her incredible work. She has, for the last 12 years, been spending her time in Silicon Valley scaling early stage startups to $150 million or more in annual recurring revenue. And before that, she was building global brands like Star Wars, Tomb Raider, and Nintendo. And so I think from all of us on our team, I can safely say that we're very happy to have her on our team. We're very lucky, and just want to give some shine to Molly for being such an all-star marketing and product leader. And so also a couple of quick notes. BitMax celebrated their 2-year anniversary as well. Shout out to BitMax. And big thank you to all of our challengers. This last testnet, like Adam said, was really amazing because it gave us an opportunity to discover a lot of things about the product that we didn't really know. And it gave us a bit more clarity as to the direction that we're going in with the product itself. And it's just really cool to see so many of you deploying new applications and writing deployment guides and sharing the information and retweeting it. And this is really a global effort. We have people literally from the entire planet participating in this testnet, from Russia to Southeast Asia, to everywhere in Europe, to the United States. I mean, there were almost 400 separate challengers on the Akashian Challenge Phase 3 testnet. So thank you to everybody for your hard work. I know it's not easy, but I hope you guys had a great time, because we did over here at Akash. Now, I wanted to thank all of you guys that entered into the meme competition, because we had an astounding amount of participation. I really didn't think that we were going to have 250 submissions, and that's from about 230 people. So some of you guys were so excited that you submitted twice. Even we had somebody actually submit 3 times. But you guys really killed it with the submissions. There were some really funny ones. Last week I went over a handful of my favorite ones. So this week I'm going to go over a handful of my favorite ones as well. So if you could just kick kick Adam out for a second. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, Adam. And then we'll go over some of my faves. Okay, where is it? Share screen. Okay, cool. So we'll share this window. Okay, cool. Can you guys see? Okay, cool. Great. Love this one. It's kind of funny, kind of silly. Classic, you know, we have some of the moon themes, raving. These are all things we can all get behind. Lambos. Good stuff. So I'm not sure who made this submission, but thank you for putting this forward. This is a movie, so moving forward, I'm going to be a little bit more clear about format, because I said meme or GIF, but some of you guys made like full-blown movies, and I personally like anime, so I like the dramatic nature of this. Yeah, so that's absurd, but I'm gonna have to say I love the A for effort. And again, I am partial to anime. Love this Slumdog Millionaire pop culture reference. I like memes with a little pop culture in there. So, and you know, holding the Lambo. I do like the editing work with the Lambo. It's well done, very well done. And then we have a sort of chain Linkian meme over here. I believe this is like 16th century English painting about Henry VIII and his family. I did see this first in the chain link. Obviously, you see the chain link Pepe reference. I do like the reinterpretation with Akash, so I'm going to give this a big cosign. So thank you for this. I do like the creativity, and Chainlink is our partner, so I do like kind of borrowing from some of that Linkian energy. And let me see. I wanted to show this sticker pack as well. I'm actually kind of surprised that some of you guys made full-blown sticker packs. Like some of you guys actually made. So this is a great sticker pack. We have. Yeah, let me take a look. So we have Paul, our moderator. I'm sure you guys have seen him. Hold on one second. Sorry. We got Paul here. These are fully animated GIFs. And so, yeah, so there's a lot of really great sticker packs. We have Boz, Greg looking very strong here in the beret, the Akash beret. Very tactical. Anti-FUD tank. Love it. Wish I had one of those in real life. Akash spaceship. Very nice animations. And then sort of a game of Cosmos Pong, if you would say. So I really do like this sticker pack, and feel free, as we love sticker packs. So if you guys want to continue to make sticker packs, please do. We welcome all types of creativity here. So those are some of my favorites. And now I guess it's time for us to. Oh, one more thing. One last quick update. We had a portfolio competition. We can share that in the chat right now. I think we're going to be, because of how successful this was, I think we're going to be handling maybe one every quarter. It'd be great to have maybe one every 3 months or so. But we've partnered with Get Money and Encrypted, which is a great group in Russia. They're very well-known crypto group in Russia, Encrypted. We can link to them as well in here for those of you that are in the Russian community that don't know them already. But we have 1,000 participants, over 1,000 participants in our trading battle, which eclipses any participation we've ever had in any promotion, including the meme promotion. 1,020 to be exact, and they're from all over the globe. We have participants from literally every single major continent participating in this trading competition. It's fantasy dollars. You don't have any of your own money in this. This is purely, you get 1,000 fake dollars. And you get to invest in 1,020 participants. That's Andrew. Thank you for putting that together, Andrew. And yeah, it's really fun. Take a look at it. The registration is closed, but you can still take a look and get familiar with the sort of format, because we will be hosting these in the future. I think it's really fun. So without further ado, we're going to do a Q&A. So
before we do have the
yes, go ahead. Yeah, Greg, please.
Yeah, Wheel of Names, right?
What's that?
The Wheel of Names.
Oh, Wheel of Names. That's right. Oh, thank you, Greg. Appreciate that. Let me get the Wheel of Names. That's right. So the giveaway from. Yeah, let me get this real quick. Thanks for reminding me, Greg. So we have share screen. So from the last live stream, we put together all the names of everybody who joined the last live stream, who was live, not just registered. So if you register and don't join, it doesn't count. You got to be here live. We put together all the names, and we're going to do a little drawing. So first winner wins some Akash merch. So let's get it going. All right, Armia, you just won a Akash sweater. So let's do this. Ooh, Tarzan 18. Thank you, Tarzan. Almost had Warley, but this time Tarzan won. So congratulations. All right, number 3. All right, well, I can't win. Somehow I won last time, too. I don't really win things that often, so that's kind of crazy, but we'll do it one more time. Georgie P, number 3. All right, guys, and congratulations to you 3 for winning some Akash merch. Now, the grand prize is a Ledger Nano X. Hope you guys are excited. Let's see who wins this time. Ooh, all right. Congratulations to Alexi on winning a Ledger Nano X. Let's move it over to the Q&A now. What do we got here?
Bring back Adam.
Yeah, let's get Adam back on here first.
Well, the first question. Hey, guys, from Yarmund Labs. Hey, guys, are there plans to reduce network inflation in the future? If so, who will initiate this process? The foundation or the community through a vote? Yes, we we actually did initiate the first proposal to reduce the inflation. We began with the 54% target inflation. Right now, the inflation is somewhere around 51.1%, so 10%. So you could essentially, that's coming down on a daily basis if you actually keep an eye on how that's coming down. And in the future, from mainnet 2 onwards, I think the community will initiate through one of our validators. This time we did it internally to understand some implications and how that flows. Just inflation is reducing on a daily basis. So what that also tells you is, in order to maximize your yield or you're staking towards, the sooner you stake, the better it is.
Great. So thank you for that. Question number 2 from Martin. I would like to hear more. What will happen to mainnet 1 after the mainnet 2 launch? Thank you, and happy to be together with the Akash community. We're happy to have you, Martin. Thank you for asking your question.
Yeah, mainnet 1 is going to be transitioned into mainnet 2. So it'll be an upgraded chain of mainnet 1. We don't expect mainnet 1 to continue to be around. That being said, it's it's decentralized. So if people want to continue to run that chain, they're more than welcome to. But mainnet 2 is going to have the really exciting features, and so that's the one that we're all looking forward to using.
Great, thank you so much for that, Adam.
Just to be clear, not all your balances and all the transactions will still port over to mainnet 2.
Yeah,
we'll just switch over as the active chain. All the data, there's no loss of data.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for that clarification. Exactly. Yeah.
All right, great. Question 3. Hello, can we expect a GUI soon for deployment/provider?
Yes, we are working. There are a few efforts for a GUI. Community is working on some. We are dabbling around a web interface for GUI. So we can't promise you when that's going to be ready, but hopefully, as if product evolves, we're going to have something for you. Maybe sooner than we expect it to be. And definitely some of the things that it'd be nice to have. I would love for community to participate here is price estimation. As we go into mainnet 2, you want to be able to have an estimation as to how much it would cost to deploy something, maybe on a historical basis or whatnot. Great to have like a Uniswap style non-custodial hosting. Like if you actually, there are libraries, incredible libraries from MintScan has a Cosmos JS library with Akash support on it. And Akash mainnet 2 itself is a REST-based interface that you can interact with. So a non-custodian hosting interface. We also have wallets like Kepler that are basically a browser extensions. So using these, you can actually create a Uniswap style non-custodial hosting web UI, and I love for community to get on it.
Yeah, guys, like we're just getting started, right? Like we show like the kind of nuts and bolts, the CLI stuff. So like developers will use from day to day for deploying things that we're used to, and even that part needs to obviously get a lot easier. But it's a wide open field, and so if you have any ideas of what you'd like to contribute or spin up, then please come reach out and speak with us, because we'd love to help in any way. Things Greg mentioned are really amazing. We want to support any of those efforts, and there's also things like provider explorers. We have block explorers. We want to start having provider explorers where you can see the network of providers that are available to you. So we're just getting started. There's going to be a lot of cool tools coming out in the next year. Once we can get through this year, next year will be great.
Yeah, and also I think we will progress. It's less than 3 months since we launched our mainnet 1, and it's less than 2 months since we went liquid, and it's about 3 weeks since we introduced up to the users. So it's a lot of progress has been made this year. both by us and as well. And I'm really looking forward to all the amazing tools that we'll be building. And again, we have 450 plus active monthly users, developers this month. So that's really a good number. Why did you choose Cosmos project and not Polkadot, Near, or Ethereum, or some other blockchain? Initially, when we started working on the code base in 2017 or so, Ethereum was available, and it wasn't particularly the best choice considering how expensive the gas fees were, and considering how expensive the scalability issues Ethereum has and still has to a degree. It was not prime for a cloud infrastructure project like ours. And when we had to make a choice, there wasn't really any platform that would fulfill our needs from a scalability and a usability standpoint, and also from an economic standpoint, right? Relying on a different chain for economics wasn't really something that was practical or pragmatic when we began the code base in 2017. And when we had to choose, we wanted to build our own sovereign chain, and Tendermint was what we started working with. And Tendermint was very aligned because they were a library format. They're in Golang that we can actually adopt, and we are a huge Go shop, and all our code base are in Go. So in case there was an issue that with the consensus or anything, we can actually go in and fix it ourselves. And number two, the values really aligned with us. They were a very pragmatic team. They were shipping code really quickly, and there was a lot of alignment in each software should be developed, the iteration cycles and whatnot, that really spoke to us. So that was great, and we were able to actually rapidly build a prototype and release a prototype to public in 2018. And in 2019, we did an incentivized testnet. If folks remember the first Akash Founders Challenge about a year ago, using the code base that we adopted in 2017. Obviously, that pushed the limits for this prototype that we launched, but did give the community an introduction to Akash that let us launch mainnet, mainnet 1 and whatnot. And Polkadot and Near weren't there. They're brand new. If you think about how long they've been around, right? So it was just mostly there was a lot of alignment with us and Cosmos, and now we started working and actively contributing back to Cosmos ecosystem. And then once you are established an ecosystem, it's sort of like you need pretty strong reason to get out of the ecosystem. So we love Cosmos, and we align with them really well. And yeah, that answers the question.
Yeah, I'll add a little bit of history to that too. So we had been doing originally. I don't know if people know this, but our original product was not a blockchain product, and we got into blockchain because we wanted a decentralized marketplace as part of our deployment tool. And so we had some designs, and we were looking at our options for inserting kind of a DEX into our product. And we were kicking around using ETH. Obviously, it seems like the natural choice to use. When we were getting close to making a final decision, is around when CryptoKitties was really big, and ETH just like slowed down to a halt. And we really couldn't risk having that kind of slow down just because some other project was taking over the network. And so just from a perspective of like having an isolated system, it made a lot of sense for us to have a native chain. And at the time, our expertise was in cloud infrastructure, not in blockchain. And what was really appealing about Tendermint was that as an application framework, we didn't have to invent our own consensus algorithm. We can kind of use it as a framework. And so that was really where the original choice came. Originally, we were just raw on top of Tendermint. Thankfully, Cosmos SDK has really matured a lot since then. And so we did a rewrite actually this past year to rewrite our original app onto Cosmos SDK. So that's a little bit more of a backstory there.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam, for that. Next question. What are Akash's plans for 21? That's a big question. So a lot of potential plans for 21.
Well, so the big ticket item that's coming up in 2021 is launching Mainnet 2. I think Mainnet 2, if you look at the kind of success that we had with our testnet, translating the success into Mainnet 2 is going to be a big part of the lift for us. So getting adoption, getting just getting the platform to stability. We want to be humble and open to the possibilities that there may be stability issues and there may be adoption issues. There are going to be a whole lot of them. I think most of our lift is going to be focusing on making sure the Mainnet 2 is very, very successful. And walking down the roadmap, we have a few things that we'll be working on, all the way from improving our economics to really focus on incentivizing early growth, to expanding the feature set to include more easily manageable backend services and whatnot. And there's also this interoperability side of things that we want to start breaking ground on. As most people know, we are a big contributor to IBC, and the reason why we wanted to use IBC is because we believe in a frictionless and interoperable cloud. And Akash really being positioned as a gateway to a decentralized cloud, because you have amazing projects that we could leverage and our users could leverage to have a complete cloud experience. So there's lots of exciting things coming up, but it's mostly a lot of product and a lot of adoption in 2021.
Thanks, Greg. We have a question about the team. Could you please tell me a little bit more about the team and some of their backgrounds? I think, yeah. So maybe we can talk a little bit about what makes our team so dynamic and just unpack that a little bit.
Sure. So my name is Greg Osuri. I'm the CEO and co-founder, and I'll go first, and Adam can go after. My background, before I've been a programmer for a little over 25 years, and in the last 9 years or so, I've been primarily focused on shipping and deploying developer-focused products. I founded a company called Angel Hack, where I got first-hand experience really working with a lot of developers. At Angel Hack, we have companies that are massively successful today. One of them being Firebase. If you folks know what Firebase is, it is Google's cloud product. Firebase was launched at Angel Hack, and really understanding developers. What it takes for a developer to adopt a platform. Getting the first 20 users at Angel Hack was an incredible learning experience for me. Then a lot of my work was focused on getting early into Kubernetes. So we started working and contributing to Kubernetes in that whole ecosystem and adopting that ecosystem since about 2014. So we've been building cloud and distributed systems for a fairly long time. Before Akash, we deployed systems that had billions of transactions per day, all the way from demand-based to other companies. And I'll let Adam go a little more into his background.
Yeah, so I've just been kind of just a veteran of startups in San Francisco, Silicon Valley. Started in the security industry, and kind of just been a jack of all trades. Did some music streaming stuff, did some kind of everything. I think just to speak to your question here, I think that is really something that differentiates our team. Like I said a moment ago, we're building a product. Originally, we were building a product to deploy applications to the edge. So it's like a dynamic CDN. In order to realize that vision, we wanted to use blockchain. And so we've been through more startups than is healthy. And so we really just kind of have a really deep understanding, too good of an understanding of what it takes to execute. And you don't always know all the information. You kind of just have to be gritty, I think. And so I think that there's a lot of teams in the space that are really excited and amped up about blockchain and are quite inexperienced. That's not to say that they're not that they won't be very successful or that they won't make the right decisions. But I think that is a pretty big differentiator for us. And then, I'll also say, just as the final point to your question, like it really is easy to sit back and say, oh, they made the wrong mistakes here, they made the wrong mistakes there. Doing this stuff is hard. Any blockchain project you're on is going to be hard. There's difficult decisions to make all the time, and we hope that with our experience, it'll guide us through some of those decisions so that it'll tend towards the right ones. But this stuff's hard, so it's. I understand that from the outside things can seem like mistakes, but you never know what would happen the other way as well.
And also, if you're not making enough mistakes, you're not doing right things. Mistakes are a healthy part of learning and growing. And if working in enough startups, the most important thing is to move and make progress and not die, and that's how you grow. And we've been around for a little over 5 years, so we haven't, we still survived here.
That's definitely, that's one of the first things you told me, Greg, when I first started working here at Akash. You said, you got to take more risks. I'm not seeing you taking enough risks. And that's something I can relate to both you and Adam about. So thank you guys for your answers for that. Those are great. We have, I just wanted to put a link here. If any of you guys want to get to know our team a bit better, we have an all-star cast. We have an all-star cast across all the different departments at our company. So go ahead and click that to learn more about everybody. We have so many more questions. Oh my God, so many people asked questions. Let's see what else we got. Okay, could you deploy services with private Docker images on Akash, or is it only open for source code right now?
Right now, it's not. There's no private service. Docker images. That's something we want to add support for, and this actually brings up an interesting topic about this. Like again, I see this as open source infrastructure, and so different providers are going to be able to provide different things, and there's going to be different trust relationships that people have with different providers, and so it's not really an easy problem to solve. We can't just say like, hey, you're going to give your password to your Docker images to anybody, but there could be trusted, like through your network, you trust certain providers, and they'll have that capability, and you'll be willing to give them a token to grab your stuff. But this gets into the topic of kind of add-on services. So maybe you want to use private Docker images. Maybe you also want extra long log retention. Maybe you want extra fast storage. Maybe you want something else. All these variants are things that are going to be add-on services that providers can add if they'd like, and that are going to be part of the leases that are part of the things that you request from a provider. And so when we say that there's a lot of, we're just getting started and there's a lot coming down the pike, those are the kinds of things that we mean. Amazon AWS started with S3 and maybe some compute, and today it's an entire jungle of services. It's a monolith. They control the whole thing. We see this as the open source version of that, and we see it growing to having that amount of diversity of services available on the network.
One thing remains constant is whatever we do, we want to build high quality product, right? So staying focused on doing less things but doing it really well is critical for success. Instead of just overloading a lot of features. So a lot of the beautiful thing about a decentralized network like Akash is like the providers can provide lots of services without us promoting the services out of the box, right? So really the design sort of principle that we adopted is to be more coupled and just provide the glue so that you have access from a market. Instead of like the protocol supporting all these features, but if that, hopefully that answers your question.
Thanks, guys. Another question. This is a bit forward-looking, but what do you think Akash will look like in 2031? That's very far in the future.
10 years from now.
Yeah. It's like 30 years from now.
I don't know. So market, right? $300 billion. At 100% market penetration would be nice.
It's in the name. It'll be like the clouds. It'll be everywhere.
I like.
No,
I like
we firmly look like it. We've been pounding on this thing for quite a long time, and it's because we're really excited about it. We think it has a lot of opportunity, and we think it could really be a game changer for the way people do things and deploy things on the internet. And so we think that there's a very good chance that it'll be quite impactful. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sacrificing ourselves day in, day out for so long. So, you can't say anything for sure, but I think there's a lot of potential for the project.
Great answer, guys. Are you supporting hybrid cloud computing?
So just to clarify on what hybrid cloud computing is, you have private data centers and you have public data centers. So the protocol is designed to support that model of deployment. Anybody can become a provider on Akash, and we do have audited attributes where you can set the attributes to just go to certain providers and whatnot. Yeah, that's possible from a deployment standpoint right now. And Akash is so free form that you can, deploy it any way that you want.
Okay, great. We have a question. Will it be possible in the future to buy some Akash merch? I don't see why not. Why don't you guys add in the chat if you want to see a store for Akash merch? If you could just type "I want Akash merch" in the chat, so we can get an idea of how many of you guys are interested in that. Let's see what else we got here. Can you shred some light? Can you shed some light on Akash strategy towards blockchain ecosystems, particularly towards Cosmos and Solana?
So Solana and Cosmos, we're really good friends with. Solana in particular, Cosmos is obvious. We're pretty active players and we're supporting the ecosystem. They've been supporting us, and we're pretty deep in it. What we are bringing to the Cosmos table is really being able to host your Cosmos nodes at exponentially lower cost than what you would otherwise pay currently on Amazon's and Google's and Microsoft. Our mission is to really decentralize the validator set. Right now, it's heavily centralized, and a lot of it is on the big clouds. So moving them off the big clouds and bringing to a decentralized network at a price point that's lower and an experience that's much better is what we are offering Cosmos ecosystem. As you know, people launch hundreds of nodes in our testnet, so you can actually verify that Cosmos nodes can be launched on Akash in a frictionless way, so we're really excited. What folks can do. Cosmos ecosystem can benefit out of Akash. Solana, another super excited. Solana is something that has been near and dear to me personally. I don't know how many people know this, but first ever interview on stage for Solana, Anatoly. So if you go to Solana's YouTube, and you can see, if you go to the first video, that'll be me. You can't see my face; it was pretty dark, but you can actually see me sitting there. Solana, we align pretty well with Solana's team in terms of how the pragmatism and the speed at which they ship. And most of you know Solana scales with their validator set, and a big important priority for Solana is to increase their validator set in a cost-effective way. And Akash will be, when we have capacity on the network to support the validator set. Right now, about 300 or so validators are currently, Solana has about 300 or so validators, and hopefully we like to see them come on to Akash again, extend the same privileges and capabilities that we extend to Cosmos ecosystem, which is high quality, low cost, bare metal, high performance computing that is fully decentralized. So we're really excited to support Solana, and as most of you know, that Akash is we are hosting the Serum Dex UI as well. And Director of Engineering for Serum FTX, Nishad, wrote a big blog post as to what they think and their experience working with Akash. So I would highly recommend folks to go check it out. Now, Serum is a big part of Solana ecosystem. And we're also, hopefully, when things are ready, we will be when we see the interoperability coming into more maturity in the future, hopefully, support a bridge between Solana and Akash ecosystems in the future.
Great. Thank you so much, Greg. And thank you for that question. Awesome question. Next question. Any ETA possible for when AKT will be listed on larger exchanges? Would love to add AKT to my fund, but can't till there's more liquidity.
We can give you ETAs and we can give you forward-looking statements on exchange listings, as this is an extremely sensitive topic. The question, are we working on getting bigger exchanges? Of course we are. Liquidity is critical to ecosystem, and as we get into mainnet 2, as we have more users and providers that is actually using Akash to pay their bills, it's very, very important for us to get liquidity. But we are working towards it. Again, we've been in the market for about 2 months, less than 2 months, and so far a lot of early supporters are accumulating Akash, but we are working towards improving liquidity of Akash. And as you can see, if you look at the historical data, liquidity is actually improving, both in terms of volume and also the order book health. And we'll be opening up more exchanges. We can't say when or who, but more exchanges are coming.
Thanks, Greg, and thank you for that question. Thanks for joining. Hey, we got Free Flicks in the house. What's up, Sisla? Much love to you and your team. Question from you guys. Hi, team. We're from Free Flicks, and we wanted to know if you have any plans for running private nets or something similar connected to the Akash network. We're looking at media studios running their own infrastructure powered by Akash, as well as use the Akash network for CDN as required. Keep up the great work. Putting this in the chat.
Private net, a private network, you can technically run a network from a tenant standpoint. I don't think it's possible from a provider standpoint. I don't know, Adam, if you have some.
Yeah, it's a really interesting question, because the reality is we do kind of have two products. There's the blockchain side, which is the marketplace, and then there's the platform deployment side, which is deploying. This is the platform. So conceptually, like in principle, you could split the two. I think the reality is that they're pretty tightly coupled. And I think it's something we could do. It's just not something we're really focusing on right now. Again, we're a really small team. We have quite ambitious goals for the next year. But if you talk to us about your use case, we could probably figure something out. Like, if nothing else, like Greg's saying, run a network on your internal, run a literal blockchain internally and deploy that way. But it's a good question.
Yeah, you can also see you can also envision a scenario like running your own Akash network. Nothing is going to stop you from there. You bootstrap your Genesis file and run your own validator set, sort of like a fork of Akash, and just give the tokens that you want people to have and people to deploy. So that in itself is a private, Akash network, and leverage all the amazing features Akash gives you in terms of deployability and whatnot. Maybe in the future, when you have the IBC working, you can actually have two Akash networks talk to each other and exchange tokens that way. I mean, that you can create a hybrid scenario. You can do all kinds of things. I believe the IBC, right now, Akash binaries have IBC support. You can actually test it out if you want between two blockchains that are talking. So you can do all kinds of cool things.
Just real quick on that question, because I think it's a really good one, because it actually, the use case that's mentioned there, which is that there's like some on-prem secure stuff, and then there's also this like external CDN style stuff. That's very, very, very much the use case. That external CDN part and that entire setup is very much one of the primary use cases in my mind for Akash right now. So if you want to have something super secure, nobody can access it, etc., you run that on premises, and you run your like web tier, CDN tier on top of Akash. And really, like, that was when going back to when I said we were building a product before we were a blockchain company. Like, that was the project we were building, and it still to this day, I think Akash is really well suited for that situation.
Thanks, guys. That was a great question and great responses. Are there any plans to expand to Southeast Asia? Maybe Indonesia has the potential to promote this project. Absolutely. I can definitely see that happening in the future. We do run weekly AMAs around the globe. We just had one in China. with our Chinese community, with MBU. And we do have weekly global AMAs with larger regional communities, like Indonesia is a large community, Vietnam is a large community, Russia is a large community. And so we love connecting with you guys all around the world. And that's a really big component of how we've been able to grow at the pace that we have been. And I think it's really integral for us to be able to really just share what the project is about, where we're going, where we've come from, with as many people around the world as possible. So yes, there's absolute potential that we'll start kind of growing. And we have been growing, like I said, we have been having these AMAs in Vietnam. We have had some with some larger groups in Indonesia. And I do definitely see potential in creating some more localized communities in those areas. And we do value those areas very much. I mean, hopefully, when all of this clears up, sometime in 2021, maybe we'll be able to come out and visit some of our more localized communities and share what Akash is about and put face behind some of these awesome names that we're seeing all over social media. So, Greg, did you want to add anything to that, or Adam?
I think you covered it all.
Okay, great, awesome. Greg, why did you choose the name for your project as Akash, and what's the meaning?
So Akash, as you know, in Sanskrit means the universe or the first element. When people looked up to the first element, it was the sky. So Akash means the sky. Sky is where the clouds are formed and clouds meet. So that's the relationship to Akash as a cloud. Personally, I'm originally from India, so it kind of rang with me, the name. So that's really where the origin of the name came from.
Thanks, Greg. A couple more questions, 2 more questions, guys.
Akash also means the ether, the first element. So there's that. So it's got the blockchain piece and the cloud piece. So
I love it. I love it, Greg. Second to last question. Apparently, many blockchains are not actually solving any real problems. They just exist to sell their tokens. What problem exactly is Akash solving, and solutions are you providing?
So yeah, I'll just real quick on this. Actually, I think it's a good question. Initially, we were hesitant to get into blockchain because I felt like there wasn't much like real that was happening. Of course, that's not true, but I really do think it's a differentiator for us. Like I was saying, we had a product that we needed a solution for, and blockchain was a great solution for a part of that product. And that ended up being Akash what it is today. A lot of projects have a solution and they kind of look for a product to make out of it. And it's kind of an inverted way of doing things. And you end up with kind of all like 10,000 projects that kind of do the same thing or don't do much in the real world. But look, come mainnet 2, you're going to be paying for infrastructure with blockchain, with digital currencies. And so it's like a real life physical thing. There will be websites that will be hosted by a blockchain network. And that's the thing we're doing.
And to add more light to what Adam said, the real problems we are solving is cheaper, better, faster compute, right? I mean, if computing is really expensive today, I mean, Akash, by outsourcing and really bringing on different providers and letting users set the price, you are actually reducing the cost to compute. And second is, I don't know how many of you actually use Amazon Cloud today. If you try and deploy what you can deploy on Akash on Amazon Cloud, the amount of steps you need to take to go deploy something on Amazon is exponentially greater than what you can do on Akash. Please go check out the product. Please use the product and see for yourself how simple it is to go deploy something on Akash, and do the same thing on Amazon and just compare yourself. We're not chilling our own products. Do it yourself and compare it. The product is the best due diligence, and by using the product, you'll really understand what's possible and what problems you're solving. We're not just a token company or a project that's just but the tokens really here are solving a problem that's being non-custodial, that makes computation much cheaper, that makes it an amazing experience for developers to use the platform.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Greg and Adam, thank you so much for taking the time out of your days to speak to our community. I just wanted to thank you guys all personally for joining us and being such killer supporters, whether you're on the validator side of things or you're deploying on the network or you're somebody who's really passionate about the project, or you're somebody who's just coming in. Maybe there's a couple of you who don't know anything about us and this is just literally your first time coming in. There's usually a couple of you guys, we really appreciate all of you all over the world. There's people from every single continent, almost every single continent here, I know, because I recognize some of you guys in here looking through the guest list. So thank you. And, we want to ask you, what do you want to see in these live streams? So this is our final live stream for the Akashian Challenge. The challenge has come to a close. But we do want to ask you, hey, moving forward on the other end of the new year, what do you guys want to see? Like, what kind of content are you interested in? What do you want to hear? Maybe format suggestions. We really want to know what you guys are interested in. So if you guys want to give us some of that feedback, just go ahead and type that into the chat. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for joining us. Happy holidays. Hope you guys have a great holiday. And that's it for me.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. It was great speaking with you all. And then
thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. Thanks, Michael. Good night, guys.